ANC Gauteng Provincial Secretary TK Nciza joins us now for more on that conversation. TK, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time this evening. So you have, of course, changed your tune in part if you say you are now accepting that you lost. I mean, previously you said, well, we didn't get 50%, but no, we still won something. But right now you are saying this has been a complete defeat. I mean, at 35%, surely this is not just a small defeat. It is a shocking defeat.
Good evening to you and your viewers. Of course, it is a defeat. Of course, we have lost a serious percentage. We are bleeding as the ANC. So the first thing you do is to accept your position as a person for you to recover. So we are on our way to recover. That is why we are having critical discussions that are honest in how do we rebuild the African National Congress and really practically move and execute this organizational renewal we've been talking about.
Yeah.
It's a defeat. Of course, we are number one. If we were running 100 meters, would be number one. But in politics, it doesn't work like that. You have to have a certain percentage of people that are voting for you. So we had a very frank and a very robust PEC that has really came out very strong on a number of things that we should do in really rebuilding the African National Congress.
Yeah.
But over and above that, dealing with issues of service delivery as our primary objective come for the next, for the seventh administration.
What was your analysis? I mean, you've been losing power in perpetuity, at least for consecutive elections, unable to arrest the decline. This is not a strong ANC by any means. And why do you believe that this is an ANC that can reclaim that glory?
I think we're frank on a number of areas. Organizationally, we are very weak. Not only in Gauteng, I guess across the length and breadth of this country. Part of what we're analyzing as the province, and I think the NEC would have done the same, we have weak branches of the African National Congress. We go to an extent of saying in the province, we believe that we've been electing, or rather we've been launching branches for conference. Because most of the time, I mean, whether you speak about Mama Nkosazana Zuma's report when she really spoke about the non-existence of our structures many years ago, and we ignored that report. We continue focusing, rather being inward-looking, thinking that things were normal, which of course they were not. Where we are really focusing on really going down, working, doing sectoral work, having public meetings, long before the PGMs must sit. We are not preoccupied with conferences, but we want to go down on the ground and build a strong ANC, including engaging and doing proper recruitment, because there's one thing to have numbers, people who are in the data, but there's another thing with people who are really members of the ANC. You find that the branch executive committee is not functioning because those people came for the first time in a meeting, those who are contesting in a branch, who understand the ANC, they remove each other because of slate politics. Slate politics is one of the things that as a province, we really believe they've costed the ANC a lot. A lot of capable comrades and cadres have fallen out of favor, or fallen along the way because of slate politics. A person that could have been brought and work with the African National Congress or work towards improving the ANC finds themselves outside because they were in this slate or that slate. We need to really come up with a system that deals with the leadership elections in a different way, because it means if you are yourselves and you're contesting for chair, if you lose, for instance, that position, what then happens? So I'm just saying that we looked at a number of things, but in the main, we want to go and build branches on the ground, look for quality leadership, recruit people that will, understand the ANC. bring back activists.
So what you are saying that your branches were infiltrated, that's part of why they're weak. Slate politics is part of why they are weak. How are you going to, for example, deal with the infiltration?
Firstly, of course, there is an infiltration across. We have accepted that. The first thing we do, we must go on the ground. Like I'm saying, we will have public meetings long before we have BGMs. After that, we are going to have workshops that are going to be led by activists across the province, people who have led the ANC, who understand the history of the ANC and the existence of the ANC, and the importance of the ANC continuing to be a leader of society in this country. From there, we will then start doing an intensive political education program that should be led by both national and the province. And of course, we then go to these PPGMs and do inductions. We will do an intensive job for the next 6 months. And we've given ourselves between now and next year, February, for us to do a thorough work of the organization to build strong branches, people who will be loyal to the African National Congress, but understand it. Not this thing of waking up, you have 3 BC members because others, they've decided to walk away. Others, they don't even understand what the ANC is. So I really believe that those who are preoccupied with conferences must really, in fact, the PC says, let's hold on. And the NEC also has that view. Yeah. What we need to do is to really honestly, even amongst ourselves, when the road of factionalism, we are becoming a gangster because of state politics, and we can't agree to that. We can't operate as the organization that works like that, including tribalism. We need to deal with issues of tribalism. We need to deal with issues of regionalism. So that we can be able to take our movement forward. This is now just on how and what we believe we should do as the organization, and how do we really believe we're going to rebuild the ANC. But sectoral work will be at the center of our organizational work. We're not going to do sectoral work as we go to the elections. We must go and speak to our people across.
Tshwane, Johannesburg, those metros, quite key in terms of constituency that you want to reclaim. I mean, what is going to change in how you're going to approach it? I mean, one of the things that seemingly you have now accepted is this thing of using smaller parties to be mayors and you guys hiding behind MMC positions. You've realized not going to work.
It has never worked. We never said it will work. There was a reason why that happened, and I'm sure you must recall that our view was that Dada from the onset should have been a mayor. We're still going to engage on Ekurhuleni. And then as we're busy with Comrade Dada, and he came in for 25 days, that was our decision as the African National Congress. So it was never our view that we shouldn't lead from the front. But at the same time, in coalitions, you can't be arrogant. You can't act as if this is about you. It must be about the people. You must make sure that the pro-poor budgets in these municipalities are there so that they can assist our people. So that's why we are, very patient. We're engaging a number of parties, and we'll continue to do so because we did not win the elections, especially at the local government level at that time. So it's not a matter of we believe these smaller parties would lead better or they won't. There were circumstances that led to that. We have rectified those things. There's now more trust amongst parties. A lot of parties believe that, okay, the African National Congress has experience of governing. It can be able to take these services to our people. Let's work with them. But they want to also, too, be part of this government. And we appreciate it. And we really think that we will see a lot of change. Let me just tell you something. If you don't have a good working relationship between a province and the region, most of the time you have a lot of problems, including national. So people start, politicking. If you want to intervene as national at the level of local government, you find a stumbling block because people are playing politics. Our councillors in the province, and I believe across the country, have been having an issue of being accused of not delivering services and so forth and so on, because in the main, a lot of councillors are councillors of the ANC. That's a reality. So when there is a non-performance or service delivery is not going to the people, people who get blamed is the African National Congress. That is why we are making sure that we have engagement with all these parties so that we can deliver services for our people, so that we make sure that our councillors are able to respond, our councillors are able to protect the interest of the public.
Yeah.
We will continue to have an interest of the people of this province.
Are you going to insist on an ANC mayor in Tshwane?
There's nothing called insisting. Even in Johannesburg, we did not insist. Even in Nkoruleni, we did not insist. It is a process of engagement. So we are engaging. There is a framework of the ANC. We all know about it, including yourself. We will use that framework to engage and negotiate. But what then becomes a final product of engagement is something else. There is no big brother or arrogancy. We have a framework that we must follow. We must engage, we engage. In fact, we work with our comrades in Tshwane to do this engagement.
Yes.
And engage all political parties, because we don't leave our regions behind. And we also at all times encourage them to do the same, because we also don't leave national behind, because we account to our national office all the time. I go back to them as a secretary to give reports to our national office. So where we are not arrogant, but we want services to go to our townships. You can look at Acherisville, which used to be the cleanest township in South Africa at some point. Look at what it is now and how it looks. Hammanskraal, issues of water, there have been problems forever. But to Botswana, they feel they've been left out. The ANC must step in. It must be able to assist them, because their proper budget is not there anymore. The last time they saw a government that was talking to them is when Comrade Sputla was the mayor there.
Yeah.
We must turn the tide. We must make sure that our people feel serviced by the organization that they believe in. And that's why we are not going to retreat on Tshwane, and we appreciate the negotiations with other parties. So it's not about the ANC, it's about the people of Tshwane.
TK, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. TK Nciza, he is the ANC Gauteng Provincial Secretary.